Maywood Church of Christ at 619 South 13th Avenue in Maywood, Illinois is about fulfillment for your family. So tell a friend to tell a friend on Wednesday at 7 p.m., Sunday 9:30 a.m. and 10:45 morning worship. Don't miss out on your lifetime opportunity. 646-752-1508.
Soon another feast came around, and Jesus was back in Jerusalem. Near the sheep gate in Jerusalem, there was a pool, in Hebrew called Bathsheba, with 5 alcoves. Hundreds of sick people, blind, crippled, paralyzed, were in these alcoves. One man had been an invalid there for 38 years. When Jesus saw him stretched out by the pool and knew how long he had been there, he said, "Do you want to get well? Do you want to get well? Do you want to get well?" The sick man said, "Sir, when the water is stirred, I don't have anyone to put me in the pool. But the time I got there, somebody else was already in. Somebody else was already in. Jesus said, "Get up. All right. Take your bedrobe." Jesus said, "Get up. Yes, get up. Take your bedrobe. Start walking." Start walking. Start walking. The man was healed on the spot. The man was healed on the spot. He picked up his bedrobe and walked off. Hallelujah. Oh, Lord, don't you know I have no friend like you? If heaven's not my home, then Lord, what will I do? The angels are beckoning me from heaven's open door. Tell the world that I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Well, you know, just up in glory land, we'll live eternally. The same on every hand. I shout in victory. Their song of sweetest praise. This land of heaven's shore. Tell the world that I can't feel at home. Oh, not in this world anymore. Oh, Lord, don't you know I have no friend like you? If heaven's not my home, oh, Lord, what will I do? Hey, you know, the angels are beckoning me from heaven's open door. Tell the world that I can't feel at home. I try, but I can't feel at home.
After this, there was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there is in Jerusalem by the sheep gate a pool, which is called in Hebrew Bethesda, having 5 porches. One of the beautiful things that I like about John's gospel is that John paints the picture of Jesus in the most divinic sense possible. That all throughout the book of John, we see Jesus as God the Son and the Son of God. And I could literally go through every chapter of John to show imprints of the fact that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God. You remember in chapter 1, he says, in the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. In chapter 2 there at the wedding at Cana, remember Mary told those men, whatever he says unto you, do it. In chapter 3, he told Nicodemus, you must be born again. In chapter 4, he tells the Samaritan woman, God is spirit, and they that worship him must worship him how? In spirit and in truth. In chapter 5 here, we see him healing the man by the pool of Bethesda. In chapter 6, Peter says, we believe and are sure that thou art the Christ. In chapter 7, Jesus says, judge not according to appearance, but judge righteous judgment. In chapter 8, Jesus says, and ye shall know the truth. Y'all know this? And the truth shall make you free. In chapter 9, he places some spit and dirt on a blind man's eyes and tells him to go wash. In chapter 10, Jesus says, I have come that you might have life, and that you might have it more abundantly. In chapter 11, he tells Martha, I am the resurrection and the life. In chapter 12, he says, he that rejects me and receives not my word has one that will judge him. In chapter 13, he says, by this shall all men know that you're my disciples. You love one to another. In chapter 14, Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. In chapter 15, he says, I am the vine, you are the branches. In chapter 16, howbeit when he, the Spirit of truth, is come. In chapter 17, sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth. Chapter 18, he's betrayed. Chapter 19, he's crucified. Chapter 20, he's resurrected. Chapter 21, he's having a breakfast meeting. All to show you the fact that he is the divine Son of God. So I enjoy John here. So that was half the sermon right there. So here we see in chapter 5 this scenario. And I love this place and the name of this place. Names mean a lot in the Bible. Yes. We see this place termed Bethesda. In the literal meaning of that word, literally means house of mercy. All right. House of mercy and house of kindness. And so for just a few minutes, if you want a text or a title for this morning, it simply is the question, is there any healing in this house? Is there any healing in this house? And there's just 3 simple points, and I'm going to go ahead and give you the 3 points now in case I don't get to all 3 of them here today, but we're just simply going to look at the place, the problem, and the position. The place, the problem, and the position. The place is important. Because here at this place, at this pool, there is something that takes place. There is a healing that has to take place. And at this place, over the years, and you go back and read certain translations, they'll give you the story about what happens with the angels stepping in the water, and whoever's the first one in there will actually be healed of whatever malady they have. And so as we see the place, we see someone with some issues. In fact, we see a whole bunch of folks with some issues here, don't we? They've got all kinds of maladies and situations and sicknesses and ailments and problems. But the beautiful thing is they're all in the right place. And now stay with me. I'll be where you want me to be hoping. They're in the right place, but they're still hurt. They're still broken down. They're still paralyzed. They're still lame. They're still infirmed in some way, shape, or form, but they're in the right place. And I want us to think on a spiritual level that the church of our Lord is this place. That we are the modern day Bethesda. That we are that house of mercy, that house of kindness. And whatever ailment there is out here, they ought to be able to come here to be healed. Y'all got time for this? I ain't meddling because I'm going home in a few hours. But I want us to understand that if we're claiming to be the Lord's body and God's people, we've got to make sure we're the right place.
Yes, sir.
That we've got the right atmosphere for healing to take place.
Yes, sir.
Now look at the kind of people who are at this place. He says they're infirm, they're sick. He says there are some who are blind and cannot see. There are some who literally cannot move. They're paralyzed.
Right.
And when we look at the spiritual nature of our world today, there are people who fit all of those categories. There are some folk who just plain sick. They're demented and they have no sense of morality, right or wrong. You have some who are blind and can't see their way. So they're just making it up as they go along. You have some who just are paralyzed by whatever it is that may be paralyzing them. It could be financial issues that just paralyze you. It could be relationships that just paralyze you. It could be health issues that just paralyze you. But whatever it is, you're just stuck. And you got all of these folks in the right place. But they're still sick. And they need some healing. So I'm glad to know at least they found the right place. But now the second part of that is, can they find the healing that they need? So now not only is it important to be in the right place. I said not only is it important to be in the right place, you better be in the right place. But you got to understand the problems that they're facing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I want us to understand that the Lord's church is that spiritual hospital, if you will.
Right.
And people don't go to the hospital to go on vacation. Brother Lopez, I've been around a little while now, and I've visited hospitals a lot. But I don't see people going to say, hey, honey, I got a week off of work. Let's go to the hospital ER. Let's sit for it. I don't see that. Oh, yeah, honey, they were poking and prodding me every hour on the hour. I didn't get no sleep. But oh, this feels good, girl. I don't see that. Because you don't go to the hospital for fun. You go to the hospital because you're sick, you're infirm, and you want to get better. When people come to the Lord, they're not coming to the Lord because they're already right. They're coming to the Lord because they're infirm in some way, shape, or form. And they want to get healed. Something else I've never seen at the hospital is one patient laughing at another patient for being sick. Wow! You had a heart attack. I don't have an arm though. You don't see that foolishness going on, do you? Because we all got something that's messing us up, or else we wouldn't be at the ER at 12 midnight for 4 hours waiting to be seen by a doctor. I'm sorry, that was back in North Carolina. I don't know how y'all do here. But we both have some issues. We both have some challenges. So I'm not going to put you down for your illness, and you don't put me down for my illness. We just have to pray and hope that all of us get the healing that we need.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know that there's some places, some congregations where people come hurting, despondent. Well, we can't help you here. We can't deal with that here. And sometimes I just want to say, well, you need to take the shingle down off your marquee because you're not who you claim to be. You're a pretender is what you are. Because if there's healing to be had, if folks are going to be made whole, if folks are going to be made well, it's going to have to be through that house of mercy.